Good evening, everybody. If you will, go ahead and please mute your lines. This is Dr. Tanya Lowe, your Chief Riot Starter, and I am excited tonight about the Riot Starter Symposium because we get to talk with Peggy Parks, who is one of our featured speakers. I want to tell you a little bit about Peggy. Peggy is the ambassador of corporate civility, and she's going to explain what that term means tonight. She's a former HR manager for an international company. She has a realistic view of the corporate world and empathy for professional challenges. And a lot of times when companies and people work with consultants, they sometimes feel that folks aren't empathetic to what's going on, and that Peggy has a real good sense of what's happening in corporations today. It's not easy keeping a company going and growing, but Peggy has a variety of workshops and presentations that she does all over the country on how to interact within your organization and have a pleasurable workplace. So I'm going to welcome Peggy to the call and ask her to just fill in the gaps of anything that she would like our listeners to know about her background. Good evening, Peggy. Welcome to the call.
Good evening, Tanya. Thank you very much for having me. I was looking forward to this, and just a few things that I may want to mention. I was in corporate for over 20 years, and when I was laid off for the fifth time, which a lot of people can relate to, I decided I did not want to go back to corporate, so I started my own business. I started as an image consultant because I had inherited a gift of how to put clothes together and how to make people look nice. And, when you look nice, you feel good. And help people move up in the corporation in life much easier. Then I decided I really wanted to get back to corporate, but as a consultant, which is the best of two worlds. I started with seminars on dressing for success, international etiquette. And about 5 years ago, I met Dr. P.M. Forney, who started the Civility Counts Project at Johns Hopkins. And that's when I had this epiphany that I wanted to teach civility. I wanted to practice civility, and I was trying to change the world one person at a time, which is a big dream.
Well, I think that's a great dream and a great task to take on, Peggy, one person at a time. So, guys, just hearing more about her background should have you running to theriot.starter.com to grab your early bird ticket so that you can meet her in person. She is truly a delight. Had the opportunity to meet Peggy earlier this year. We both sit on the leadership board for Kennesaw State University, and I just thought she was a delight in that the Riot Starters needed to meet her as a part of our symposium for 2016. So, Peggy, I have a few questions for you tonight.
Okay.
So the first question is, what is civility? What does that mean? It sounds like it's such a formal word, but can you define civility for our listeners?
Of course. Civility is not good manners. It's not etiquette. It's not being polite. Actually, all those things fall under civility. But going back to the word itself, civility comes from the Latin word civitas, which means city. And civilité in French also is loosely translated as politeness. Civility, however, as Dr. Forney always introduces civility as a code of conduct that is based on the 3 R's: restraint, respect, and responsibility. And civility is something you work on all your life. You practice it. You don't become civil from one day to the other. You may be able to learn, which fork to use for what salad. You may know which glass to use for water, which one for your wine. But civility comes from within. It's a code of conduct. It's being considerate, paying attention, acknowledging others.
Wow.
Making sure that you realize there are other human beings in your life and you want to respect them and treat them the way you want to be treated.
Wow. So is it like customer service?
It can be customer service,
Okay.
Yes, in a corporation, if you have bad customer service, it's going to affect the bottom line. Statistics show that 69% of people in the United States will decide not to buy from a company anymore if someone from that company is rude or uncivil.
Wow.
That's huge.
So that's taking me into my next question. What are the effects of incivility in a business or in a company? I think as we have this discussion that many of us have worked in companies or have been a part of organizations or even in our own business have experienced incivility. So what are some of the effects of incivility?
Well, first of all, 20% who were asked have quit a job because it was an uncivil workplace. And this research was in 2007, 2008, when the economy was so bad. People were still leaving their workplace because they were treated rudely. Incivility could be failing to return phone calls, using profane, vulgar language, sending angry emails, gossiping, bullying. There's a lot of bullying in the workplace. We always think of bullying, cyberbullying, or maybe on the playground. There's a lot of people trying to intimidate others in the company. Hateism, racism, ageism, demeaning language, gestures. It goes on and on and on.
Wow.
And embarrassing people, forgetting, quote unquote, to invite someone to a meeting.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
You didn't get that email? I can remember those days.
Oh, I do too.
So Peggy, in the examples that you provided, I'm sure everyone has experienced those. And, even I can think about a woman that I'm coaching right now who left her job because of being bullied. Adult bullying in the workplace is real. And so, which leads me to my next question. How does incivility affect a company's bottom line? How does it affect your bottom line?
Well, a customer can tell whether the employees get along. A customer feels whether there is incivility or not, and you can witness it. If you see, I don't want to name big corporations, but a lot of these big companies have a very rude culture. And then others, it seems that, you really need to make your employees happy so your customers will be happy. Without customers, there's no bottom line.
Wow.
If you mistreat a customer, he'll go next door to the competitor.
Right.
There is so much competition out there. You really, really have to make your customer feel like he's the only person in the world and the most important person for you at the time you're with him.
I totally agree with that. I hope you all are taking a lot of notes. I'm excited about hearing Peggy's full presentation in February because this is a topic that is important to me, and I think important to just as I do business, just business-to-business interactions. I notice that, and I determine if I'm going to have a business relationship with someone based on how I'm treated. And so basically you're saying it's how we treat each other?
It is. It's being present. I mean, especially nowadays, the way we communicate, we're always wired, we're always on. You're in the grocery store and you hear someone behind you, you turn around, they're not really speaking to you, they're on the phone, then they bump their cart into you, or they're at the checkout and they're still on the phone, not even paying attention to the person who's checking out their groceries. That is so rude. How does that person feel? That they're not important enough?
Right.
To even be said, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
It's really a matter of rewiring ourselves and just kind of getting out of our little bubble and realizing there are other human beings in our life.
I like what you said about being aware, just being that awareness of our interactions with people and how we respond. You mentioned the 3 R's earlier. Can you repeat those again?
Yes. Respect. You want to respect other humans. No one, and especially in this country, we are all equal. Everybody's equal. You do not need to speak down to someone who is maybe a service person or someone. You need to treat everyone the same way. Restraint. Now I think of road rage. I mean, because, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, we have the worst traffic. Maybe not the worst. I think LA is probably the worst. But you're always ready to just curse people out and do that and whatever. And then responsibility. Do take responsibility for your mistakes. Wow. Do take responsibility. Do not blame others. Like little kids. Oh, Mommy, it wasn't me. It was Johnny's fault. No, we are adults. We need to be responsible.
As you mentioned restraint, I know just working with a lot of organizations and going in and doing training, and I'll never forget I was working with an agency, and the one of the staff people, they had done something wrong, and the director just really was very inappropriate with her in front of a group of people, and so I felt the pain of that. And it wasn't happening to me, but just if she just practiced a little more restraint and talked to her separately, took her outside of that environment. I think a lot of times in the workplace, if we step back, we're so quick to respond, but if we step back and take a breath and maybe think about what are our options, do I have to respond rudely? And I think if we step back and we think about that, a lot of the times when we respond rudely, it's not really necessary, and it's not going to get us the results that we're looking for. Have you seen that, Peggy?
Yes, I mean I've had bosses who just managed with fear, intimidation, manipulating others, yelling, invading their personal space, throwing things, slamming things, losing their temper. There is no reason for that. And, now it's getting worse and worse and worse in the 21st century, especially now with the elections and all the people are so rude to one another. There are really no role models. There are no role models for children.
Wow.
And parents are all busy doing, working, taking the children here, there. It seems that we've lost that sense of responsibility and teaching manners and respecting others. And so there is no more respect.
When you don't get it growing up, then you go into the workplace or you take that into your business, and it has a profound effect.
It sure does.
It has a profound effect. Wow. I hope that you guys are truly, truly really engaged in this conversation, and that you are thinking about your own workplace and what is the culture of that organization, and how can you be a change agent. I talk to so many people, and it's always what someone else should be doing, but practicing civility starts with each and every one of us on this call tonight, and making it starts with us. It starts with us. Wow. I hope that you all go to the RiotStarter.com right now and grab your seat. So Peggy, the final question I have for you this evening is, well, actually, I have two more questions for you. But the next question is, what can someone do to start practicing or creating a culture of civility? Just a couple of things that they can go ahead and start doing.
Well, teaching by example, saying thank you, saying please. It's not difficult. 85% of people polled say the world would be a better place if we only said thank you and please.
Wow.
Does it hurt? No, it costs nothing. Civility costs nothing. It opens all the doors. Like I go to the post office all the time, and I see someone with packages. I can't open the door. I open the door for them. They go by. And that's it. Thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome. Just teaching other people to be kind. It's not difficult. Say hello. Say goodbye. Say thank you.
Yes.
Open a door. Smile. Smiling is probably number one. Smiling at someone. Someone could be having a really bad day. You smile at them. They will automatically smile back.
Right.
Another thing in the workplace, leave your problems at home. When you walk in and somebody says, how are you today? Just say, fine, thank you. How are you? Don't actually tell them all the things that happened to you that morning, because we've all had those problems.
Right.
You've got traffic, you're late, you didn't know what to wear, your clothes don't fit, whatever it may be.
Right.
Just say, fine, thank you, and smile. You want to be perceived as a person who's got it all together, as a person who has a great life. We don't. Nobody does. But people are attracted to people who are kind and do not talk about themselves, are more interested in you, in others.
Right. And people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So
That's
right. If you're rude or you don't have a friendly disposition, then more than likely your business, your department, your team, your organization is going to suffer. Wow, this is good stuff. So, Peggy, we're almost at the end now. And what are some, we've talked about a lot of stuff tonight, guys, and this was just the top of the waves. You're going to have to come to the symposium to hear everything that she has planned for you. But Peggy, what are some takeaways, that you want people to leave the call with tonight? What do you want them to leave the call with?
Well, starting tomorrow morning, just smile at you when you get to your office, even when you're in an elevator. Why don't you say good morning when you get in the elevator tomorrow morning? That's going to change the feeling in that elevator. People will be surprised and go, oh, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Smile. Say thank you. Respect one another. Try to contain your rage when you're on the road, which is difficult even for me. Because sometimes I feel, well, nobody's watching me. I can, curse them out or whatever. But you never know. You've got to practice civility in your own life, because you never know. I mean, if you say, okay, I'm okay doing this in my car, nobody sees me. What if my mom is in the car,
Right.
So really, really practice and just do a little bit at a time. As I say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Tell yourself, okay, for the next 7 days, I'm going to smile at people, and I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to open the door.
And be aware.
It doesn't take time. It doesn't cost anything. Be aware of other people.
Be aware.
Be present.
This is great stuff, guys. So Peggy, just like all of our other speakers, has a great offer for those of you who are going to sign up for the symposium. If you sign up this evening, Peggy, what do you have for those people that are on the line that sign up for the symposium this evening?
I would like to share a book. I did not write it, but it's the first book written by Dr. P.M. Forney of Johns Hopkins Civility Project. It's called Choosing Civility. It inspired me. He inspired me when I heard him speak. And this book is a small book, very easy to read, and it kind of reminds you, it's not brain science, it's really reminding you what you already know that is in the back of your head, Just dust it off, bring it to the front of your head, and start practicing civility right away.
Wow. Wow. So, and this is it's not an ebook, but it is an actual book that you will receive.
Yes, it's a paperback.
You will receive a paperback book so that you can really start developing a plan for your business or your company on how do we change the culture. I believe that, so many organizations, a lot of their issues relate to the culture of that organization, the unwritten rules of that organization. And so I'd love to see civility as one of the unwritten rules. Around here we treat each other with respect and restraint. I would love to see that practiced on a regular basis. So you've heard it right here, guys. Peggy Parks, the Queen of Civility, is going to have this great offer for you if you go ahead and register for the symposium tonight. And so on Tuesday night, Peggy, I'm feeling pretty generous because we're in the season of giving, and Tuesday is my birthday. And so I'm going to also sweeten the pot and allow those who are listening to the call. The early bird is $79, but those who are listening to the call tonight, if you register this evening, I'll allow you to register at the past participant rate of $69, and you'll be able to do that up until my birthday, December 8th. So that is a $30 savings on the event, and you will also get this great book, Choosing Civility by, what was the first name?
Dr. P.M. Forney.
Dr. Forney. You'll get this great book by Dr. Forney. So run to theriotStarter.com where you'll be able to read about Peggy Parks and all of the other amazing speakers that we'll have at the Riot Starter Symposium on February 5th, 2016. Peggy, this has been fun. Thank you so much for making time to speak with me and the folks that are on the line tonight. You have any closing words?
I want to thank you, Tanya. It's my pleasure to be here. And if you practice civility, your life will change for the better. Mine has in many, many, many ways. And I know it will with everyone on the call and everyone who does starts to pay attention and be present.
Wow. Well, with that being said, thank you. Everyone have a good night. And don't forget to go and pick up your ticket. Thanks again.